Hello students, welcome back. So in this tutorial, I'm going to be talking about operators, logical, membership, and identity operators, these three operators. So let's start with logical operators. So logical operators, there are three types. AND operator, there's a OR, and there's a NOT. And these operators, they always return true or false value. So let's look at this AND operation. In this AND operator, if every single condition is true, then it will return true, otherwise it is going to return false. That's how your AND operator works. Okay, so if every single condition is true, then it is going to return true, otherwise else it will return false. So let's look at these. Let me just copy this and put it over here on this notebook and comment this line out. All right, let's run this, and there you go. So it returns true, and true is true, and rest of the conditions are all false. And the reason they're all false is because over here this is false, over here one of the condition is false, and over here both the conditions are false. So as long as both conditions are true, it's going to return true, otherwise it's going to return false. So let's take a look at this example. In this case, if I run this, you see there's a true and true and true and true. Every single condition is true. Every single thing is true. So anytime when you do true and true and true and true, it's always going to return true. But if you put false anywhere in between, like for example, I put false over here, it is going to return false over here. So let's take an example. And your example is check if an age is between 20 and 30. Maybe you're writing a code. In that code, you have to check if the age is between 20 and 30. So let's say your age equal to 60. So you say result equal to age greater than 20 and age less than 30. This one, age greater than 20, if you recall, this is going to return true and false, right? In this particular instance, it's going to return true. Then you have and age less than 30. Age less than 30 is false because 60 is not less than 30. So it's going to return false. So true and false will give you, if you remember, true and false will give you false. So true and false, when you print this, it's going to give you false. False. Example 2. All right. So example 2, check if the age and income satisfy some condition. So let's say your first condition is check if the age is more than 20 and income is more than 15,000. In this case, my age is 25, my income is 20,000. So in this case, your result greater than 20, is that true? Yes, it is true because age is more than 20, and then you have and condition, income greater than 15,000. Well, that part is true too. So true and true will return true. And so when you print this, it's going to print out true. All right. Similar condition. Now I'm asking that, hey, check if my age, okay, check if, check if age is more than 30 and income less than 15,000. So result equal to age greater than 30 and income less than 15,000. So when you run this, your result is going to be false because this is false right there, and then and income less than 15,000. Well, this part is false. So false and false, and when you run this, it's gonna print false. Then you have OR condition. So in OR condition, basically if a single condition is true, if any one of these conditions is true in OR, then it is going to return true. Otherwise, it is going to return false. So if I run this, and you see that most of them they return true because over here there is one condition true, there is this one true, this one is true. That's why it returns true over here. But in this case, there is no true over here. You see, there is no true. That's why it returns false over here. So if I have a statement like this, print true or true or true or true. Every single condition is true over here. So since every single condition is true, it's going to print true. In this case, Again, if you look over here, every single condition, true or true or true or false or true, every single condition is true except one. So if you run this, it prints out true. In this case, there is not even a single one that is true. Every one of them is false, so it prints out false. So in true, in or condition, if any one condition, if any one of the conditions in the or clause, if it is true, it is going to return true. So let's look at an example. So here, let me just create some more cells. So don't have to keep creating that. All right. Example. So let's say you're trying to determine if the age is out of range. Maybe you want the age only in the range between 30 to 60. So let's say your age equal to 5. So result equal to age less than 30 or age greater than 60. In this case, your result is going to be true or false. This condition is going to be true or, and then age greater than 60. 5 is not greater than 60. So this is going to return false. True or false, and if you run this, it's going to give you true because one of the condition is true, which is right here. Maybe you can check. You want to check somebody's age and income simultaneously. In this case, I'm just checking one variable. Maybe you want to check two variables. You can do that too. So let me just comment this line out, and let me comment. Let me just. All right. So in this case, your age is equal to 5 and your name equal to Jerry. So here I'm checking whether age is less than 30 or name equals to Tinku. So in this case, this is going to be true or false. And if you run this, it's going to print true. Likewise, you come over here and I'm checking age is less than 30 or name equal to Jerry. True or true. This is true or this is true. But if you run this, this is going to print true. And likewise, if you come over here, comment this line out, age is more than 30 or name equal to Tinku. Here I'm using capital letter, by the way. So if you run this, it's going to print false. This is false and this thing is also false. You can also combine or with and. So actually, when you work with projects, you will have multiple very complicated condition. In those cases, you want to combine your or and. So let's say this is a scenario. You want to charge somebody. You want to see that should they charge extra? Should they give an extra charge if they have a high consumption, meaning more than 500 watt, and either they are urban area or AC is being used. So this is what you have to design a condition, basically extra charge if high consumption, okay, and either they are living in urban area or they're using an AC. So let's say this is a variable. Units used is 520. This is your power consumed, and let's say the area they're living is in urban, and let's say they have air condition. Has air condition equal to true? So how would you implement this particular condition? Well, you say result equal to units used greater than 500 and you see that there's an and then either one of the conditions is true and this is how you specify your either in between the clause, right? In between this this bracket. Area equal to urban, area is urban, or AC is used, has air conditioner. Has air conditioner equal to true in this case. So in this case, unit used is more than 500, which is true because 520 is more than 500. So true and and then area is urban. Is area urban? Let's look at this right there. Yep, area is urban. You see urban equal to urban. So true or has air conditioner. Is this true? Has air conditioner? Yes, it is true. So it returns true. So now you just do true and true or true inside this parenthesis. And if you solve this, if you run this, it's going to give you true. Example 2. Check. Let's say a student is giving a test, okay, and you want to check if either both the subjects, science plus math scores are more than 40 or the total score exceeds 95. This is the condition you're trying to check. So let's say the student math score is 21 and student science score is, let's say, 65. So your result is going to be equal to, so in this case, to implement this condition, you're going to be using this logic right here. You're going to be saying math score is greater than 40, right? You want to check if both science plus math scores are more than 40. That means math score is greater than 40 and science score is greater than 40, right? Or your total score exceeds 95. Now, what is your total score in this case? This plus this. So your math score plus science score is greater than 95. So you're checking for this condition. So this translates into this statement right here. So this one is false. And is science score more than 40? Well, if you look at your science score 65, is 65 more than 40? Yes, it is true. Or and then you check this condition. If math plus science score is more than 95, and the answer is false. So when you run this, it's going to give you false. In this case, math score is 33, science score is 65, and you want to check. Same thing. This is a different student, and his math score is 40. Sorry, his math score is it more than 40? In this case, 33 is more than 40, and the answer is false. And is science score more than 40? What is 65? Is this true? Yes, it is true. Or is math score plus science score more than 95? Well, if you combine these two together, is it more than 95? And the answer is yes, it's true. So when you run this statement, it's going to print true. Now, if you print true, let me just comment this line out. All right. If I print true, right, it's going to print true. No surprises here. If I print not true, so what it does, if you recall, not is a statement. Basically, whatever the condition is over here, whatever is, if it's false, it's going to make it true. If it's true, it's going to make it false. So it's going to reverse it. It's, in other words, it's going to negate that. So not true is going to print false, and not false is going to give you true. So let's take an example right here. So let's say you have done some calculation, okay, and based on your calculation, your a equal to true. Okay, if a equal to true and you type and you try to print not a, your answer would be false. False, because opposite of true is not a. Okay, not a is false. All right, so let's work with an example. So let's say user equal to admin. All right, so you're checking your user, is it equal to admin? So user equal to admin, and then you can type not. Okay, you can type not resident, or if you want, you can just do over here too. You can just say not user equal to admin, and if you run this, it's going to give you true. And the reason it's going to give you true is because this is admin. Okay, this a is capital, this a is small, so these two are not same. So I can change this to maybe, let's say let me just let's call this thing ash. Okay, now if I run this, it's going to still give me true, because this condition, okay, this condition is true, this condition is false, and when it's doing not or false, it's going to return true. On the other hand, if I change this back to admin with everything small letter, now this is going to reverse, it's going to make it false. Okay, now you have membership operator in and not in. How do you do that? Well, membership operator is basically to check if an element is part or is contained inside another container. That's what your membership operator is for. It is for checking if your element is present inside another container. So let's look at this one. Let me just create some cells. All right. Okay. So let's say your sentence is University of Miami, and you want to check if the word Maya, if the string Maya is present inside sentence. So basically, I'm using in operator to check if a substring is present inside another string. And if you run this, the answer is true, because the word Maya is present. You see M-I-A right there. It is present. On the other hand, if I try to print like this, Maya not in sentence. So basically I'm using not over there, and if I use not over there, it's going to negate this. So if I run this, so whatever this statement is, it's going to reverse it. It's going to negate the effect of that. So this is true, it's going to make it false. Okay. So this thing is case sensitive on a side note. So if I run this again, And this time I'm changing capital MIA to small MIA. Okay, and let me just copy this one too, the whole sentence, and run this, and there you go. So MIA is not present inside this because this is capital MIA, this is small MIA. So in this case, that's why it prints false. This one, it prints true because this is false, so opposite of this would be true. Check if an element is present inside another container, or in a container. So in this case, I'm checking if one of the element is present inside this list. So one in list, two in list. So if you run this, it's gonna print true, prints true. What if I type 9? Okay, 9 in list, and it's gonna print false because 9 is not present inside this. So here I'm checking if an element is present inside a list. Then you have identity operator. So there are two types of identity operator. There's a is and is not. So this is basically this double equal to, it checks whether the two values are equal. Okay, it actually compares your contents and values, not whether they are the same object. On the other hand, is operator is going to check whether the two variables, they are pointing in the same object in memory. So be aware of the difference between double equal to and is. So a equal to 3, b equal to 6. So my value for my variable a is 3 and the value for variable b equal to 6. So let's execute this code, come over here, and let's run this, and there you go. A is B. Okay, are they living in the same memory? Checks whether if A and B are living in the same memory address. That's what it's doing. A is actually checking whether they're living in the same memory. This is important. It's not checking for the value. It's checking for the address, memory address. So in this case, it's saying A and B, they are not living in the same memory. On the other hand, if I put not over there, it's going to negate that. So if A is B, if it's false, it's going to make this thing as true. And that's what just happened. It made it true over here. So not is basically whatever the answer is getting, if you put not over there, that's going to reverse the answer. It's going to negate the answer. So let's say you want to see where exactly these variables are stored, right? So there is a way you can see basically what it does. There's a command called IDE, and what ID does is going to give you the identification. It's going to give you identity number for the memory where exactly it's stored. So it's going to give you the identity number. So my identity for A, the memory identity is this number, and the memory identity for B equal to 6, which is IDB, is this right here. So as you can see, this is not equal to this. So that's why you get this answer. When you say A is B, the answer you got false over here because they are not same. Okay, in this case, all right, so A equal to 3, B equal to 3. A is B? Well, let's see. Let's find out. And the answer is true. Why is it true? Because if I print my ID for A and ID for B, you see they both are equal. And because they both are equal, that's why it's coming out to be true. All right, A equal to 3 and B equal to A in this case. So I'm assigning my value of B as A. Now is A is B? And in this case, it is true because my B and A, they are living in the same memory. Okay, B and A are living exactly in the same place. So if I do ID of A, ID of B, they are exactly same value. All right. Okay, thank you.